Obra anywara o. Ejebo, ejenye bedu. Operation Recover or Loot. Oral.
Abati, yeah, Odem.
Eba National Service Ghost Names. Scandal. Attorney General. Honorable Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayeni. Wama Monchemonka Highway no swaye. Hey! Na wutie individuals involved in this scandal. Any sika ekodi omo any kwan omo fa so omo create this catastrophe dream project kankan any bonda na ebusomo dwe ho awonte ase. Say but Attorney General or the omo charges amomo meto mebo na madwudwem ekosi ase defe masrawa so be share video we amam your comment section or one subscribe here masrawa so be subscribe to Trends GH on YouTube, Facebook and TikTok bibia Trends GH. Na ebuso baka ya eye Operation Recover All Loot eye committee a His Excellency John Dramani Mahama teye a okujeto ablakwa Martin Pebu Domlevo ene COP Nathan Kofi Boache ene afi eye necessary ye Iyoko boss no Raymond Acha ai chairman wuntumi ne body do ai ono podi omo de report no ekoma Attorney General say omo awie case no omo ahwehwe no mo nyina awie say omo awie defe na ma Attorney General kwampo na busua oje report no na Attorney General ro kire mu say obama first update wo ho ai no de omo hwehwe no mu na afi de he ne docket aye ready Attorney General Honorable Dominic Dr. Ayene Akuritinga so o kire mu o say national service scandal no within 6 years from 2018 ebesi 2024 sikam kwa amanfo wiaye.
Our investigations have revealed a sprawling criminal enterprise whose network covers the entire country. This criminal enterprise was run by top-level executives of the National Service Authority and their accomplices in the private sector known as vendors or service providers. We can confirm from our evidence on the docket and from interrogations that a whopping 548,333,542 cedis and 65 pesos.
548 million Ghana cedis. New currency. What they call old currency? No, wait, billion. Wait, trillion. Oh, p a chili poor p raised to the power p and yes kaketwa. After this na Attorney General Rochem say this 548 million Ghana cedis no kwanya omofa so every year biara no sika amanfo omuvia ebusia na Attorney General no we hit here to the sense say coverage the crampo na ebusia etekoye enu nti na ai mamini kan start na Attorney General Akuritinga Ayene ai already on traso ewo Monchemonka highway no so na Osei service year any amount lost to national service personnel ghost names Osei 2018-2019 service year no sika kwa ekwa amanfo bi botom ebusia 25 million Ghana cedis 857,836 and 16 pesos. Eba no 2019-2020 service year so sika amanfo awia yenkwa 21 million Ghana cedis 613,962 cedis 24 pesos. Na Attorney General Sanya we hit no chem say mo gumbe afi de an coverage number yanchiaso.
In the 2020-2021 service year 55,670,584 cedis and 32 pesos was siphoned. In the 2022-2023 service year, this is the one that is more surprising and very shocking, 350,926,977 cedis and 12 pesos was lost to the state. And then for the 2023-2024 service year, 32,881,157 and 7 pesos was lost to the Republic. In total, as I stated, we lost over 548 million Ghana cedis to the criminal enterprise perpetrated by these executives, these directors and staff, as well as the service providers in the marketplace.
After this, na Attorney General Dominic Ayeni Ochemu say, "Wosha kwanya National Service Authority in Penifo from Osei Assibey, Gifty Oware, any former sports minister Mustafa Yusuf as Sesia no oye MP ewo parliament wo Sesia ye busami no kese no enyo mo pe any others a omo fa akoti kwan so chese sa dwirum we omo de se so a ebusua creation of this criminal enterprise scandal ni nyina no Attorney General wo dwudwom.
Our investigations have revealed that prior to the commencement of each new service year, the directors would submit to Parliament for approval a budget figure representing the number of prospective service personnel for that particular service year. Consequently, or consistently, these figures were inflated by huge numbers. During the fiscal year, the directors will write to the Minister of Finance requesting permission to utilize excess funds allocated in the budget of the National Service Authority. Once authorized, the directors will transfer the funds into NSA's project account at the Agricultural Development Bank, and under the pretext of executing projects, will divert the funds into private pockets. Another criminal scheme hatched and exploited by the directors and staff is the deployment of ghost names onto the NSA system. Once deployed, the directors will then request that both ghost names and genuine names be transmitted by the head of accounts to the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems, that is GIPS, for payment. These payments included payments to East-Which cardholders procured for the fictitious National Service personnel. Our investigations compared monthly data of verified National Service personnel generated from the Central Management System and submitted to the NSA Accounts Office, and the data of the NSA personnel who were actually paid through the GIFT system for a period of 6 years. That is from 2018 to 2024. It was established that a total of 587,543 personnel were to be submitted to GIPS for payment of allowances. Meanwhile, data from GIPS showed that a total of 650,165 personnel were paid, indicating that 63,672 constituted ghost names. These consisted of the following categories of personnel. That is, National Service personnel who were blocked on the CMS system during the registration process. Then National Service personnel numbers that exist in the payment records but do not exist on the central management system. And then, of course, NSA or National Service volunteers, and then some management staff and marketplace vendors. Fellow countrymen and women, our investigators additionally established that some of the ghost names were added to the list submitted by vendors, representing the number of service personnel to whom they had supplied items or provided loan facilities, allegedly. When these vendors eventually received the payments, the directors and staff would then contact the vendors whose accounts had received payments, meet with them, and collect the additional money that had been added to the vendors' payments.
Na to say Attorney General no krampo de otumi quote figures na PES no kra no de asoso. Te so ono de wohwe mu a ada no ye bookman ana wodi bi pen. Hey because na mas na de o say PES nka PES de yi film now ahana samwo no eba no that 548 million Ghana cedis what the court is seeking me busua trillion enye skaketwa no Attorney General echiremu a eye National Service in Penifo from Osei Assibey, Gifty Oware, any nukunu, any afi, eye former sports minister Mustafa Yusuf, sikasan na obia receive ye. Enye omope just a market women in our crampo to me receive 50 million Ghana cedis. Titisika no 500 billion. Obio.
Some directors, such as Gifty Oware Mensa, created and executed a meticulously detailed plan using NSP, National Service Personnel Allowances, as security to obtain a loan of 30,698,218 cedis 69 pesos from the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB, at an interest rate of 23%. She achieved these results by using other people's information to register a company called Blocks of Life Consult without their knowledge or permission. Subsequently, she presented Blocks of Life Consult through a middleman in the person of Maxwell Akwesi Ofori-Mintah to an official of the Agricultural Development Bank, and enlisting her husband, Mr. Peter Mensah, a lawyer, to act as one of the directors or representative of the said company. She told ADB that the company specialized in supplying home appliances to national service personnel and proposed that ADB finance the company to enable it to supply these items on hire purchase basis to the service personnel, with the NSA being responsible for handling the deductions and repayments. During the period, suspect Gifty was the acting director, Gifty Oware was the acting director of the authority. However, on the marketplace of the authority, there was no indication that Blocks of Life was a registered vendor. Within 2 service years, Gifty Oware used a total of 9,934 ghost names to misappropriate the aforementioned funds. Investigation further established that after ADB transferred the funds into the account of the company, she subsequently transferred the funds into 4 different company accounts with the names of Amiacom, Scaffold, Oche, and Aristo Logistics and Trading. It was further established that suspect Gifty is a director of Amiacom, and Scaffold Company Limited belongs to suspect Abraham Gazi. That between 3rd March 2023 and 24th May 2024, suspect Gifty transferred 22,925,518 Ghana cedis and 69 pesos to Amiacom, 1 million Ghana cedis to Scaffold, 1,572,000 Ghana cedis to Oche, and 5,200,000 Ghana cedis to Aristo Logistics and Training. We have this on record. We have all the bank details. We have everything, in the docket. Investigations, however, established that Eric Nyako, from 2017 until April 2024, and Idrisu Ibn Abubakar, April 2024 to December 2024, were responsible for preparing and transmitting NSP payroll data to GIPS for payment of allowances with the approval of the former NSA Director Generals, Mustafa Yusuf, who is now an MP, Gifty Oware Abuaji, acting from February 2021 to September 2021, and Osei Assibey, September 2021 to January 2025. Without their explicit authority, nothing was possible. In other words, all these transfers could not have taken place without the authorization of the chief executive officers and or the director general, depending on the nomenclature that was used to describe their roles. 2023 service year, a total of 8,256,000 Ghana cedis was deposited into an eSwitch account numbered 1177042059, which is registered in the name of suspect Osei Assibey. Investigations showed that he personally received these funds. During a search at his residence, the aforementioned eSwitch card was found, and we intend to tender it in evidence during the course of the trial. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, our investigations further revealed that another suspect, Haruna Maulaya of Al-Faida Ventures, a vendor in the marketplace, received a total of 21,306,272 Ghana cedis and 43 pesos into his account from 2017 to 2024. Suspect Rose Hamilton of Marine Ventures received a total of 50,750,923 Ghana cedis, 15 pesos into her account from 2017 to 2024. Suspect Isaac Asamani of Option Buy Ventures received a total of 11,458,686 Ghana cedis 90 pesos into his account from 2027 to 2024. A total payment of 167,554,398 cedis and 50 pesos was made into the account of a savings and loan company, a savings and loan entity between 2019 and 2024. Suspect Sylvia Opari of Silsona, the names of the companies are very interesting. Silsona Ventures received a total payment of 10,746,634 Ghana cedis and 41 pesos into her account from 2021 to 2024. So Jacob Yosin of Inyasampo Ventures received a total payment of 19,199,638 Ghana cedis and 57 pesos into his account from 2021 to 2024. Suspects Philomena Atta and Stephen Kobina Jemfi of Brainwave Ventures received a total of 17,646,523 Ghana cedis and 80 pesos into their accounts from 2021 to 2024. Suspect Solomon Jomina of Alpharita Ventures received a total payment of 8,236,067 pesos into his account from 2021 to 2024. Suspect Charles Ahiming of GH Ohetech Ventures received a total payment of 14,235,118 Ghana cedis and 14 pesos into his account from 2022 to 2024. Suspect Kweku Opare Agofa and Prince Agofa Awoku of Fralisa Ventures received a total payment of 9,011,164 and 35 Ghana cedis into their accounts from 2023 to 2024. However, none of the aforementioned vendors provided evidence to the investigative team or to myself to prove that the amounts of money they received corresponded to the items supplied or the loans supposedly made to the National Service personnel.
Now, after this, Attorney General Dominic Akuritinga in capital letters, Ayene Ochem said, Ebano National Service Authorities in Penifua or more part of this dream. Ebukra ewo regional levels na dia na obegidom. Any of individuals or most say or more company CBA or more supply and you may be Emma National Service Authority. Any personnel for enam so sa dream when na no ekọ so no. Wabo mo charge. Charge men or the abo and who are those involved? Walesti or Mudi.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media and my fellow countrymen and women, having concluded our investigations, we'll be filing charges against 12 suspects who worked as directors and staff of the NSA. I've already listed them, but for the abundance of doubt, let me mention them again. These are Mustafa Yusuf, a former executive director, Osei Assibey, former director general, Gifty Oware Mensa, former deputy executive director, former deputy executive director for operations, Abraham Bismarck Gezi, former internal auditor, Kweku Dechi Eje, an accounts officer, Idrusu Ibn Abubakar, former head of accounts, Stephen Kobina Jemfi, we have asked that he should be rearrested because we've discovered some new accounts that contain some deposits, and so he was picked up this morning. So he is currently he's undergoing further interrogation. Koforidua, he's a Koforidua director, then Prince Agofa Ewuku, a district director, and Jacob Yosin, management information systems administrator in the northern region. We will also file charges against the following persons who are vendors on the marketplace on the central management system of the NSA in the Eastern, Greater Accra, and Ashanti regions. Osei Assibey, the owner of Stalwart Option Buy Ventures. Charles Ohomening, the owner of Gifty Oware Ventures. Philomena Arthur, the owner of Brainwave Ventures. Rose Hamilton, the owner of Marine Ventures. Kweku Opare Agbofa, the owner of Franlisa Ventures. Solomon Jamina, the owner of Afarita Ventures. Haruna Mawulaya, the owner of Alfaida Enterprise. Sylvia Ntriwa Opare, the owner of Silsona Ventures. And then Peter Mensah, a legal practitioner and the husband of Gifty Oware Mensah. We have made the decision to enter into non-prosecution agreements with some of the persons who were involved in this criminal enterprise, especially the vendors, and these have agreed to provide compelling testimonies as witnesses for the prosecution. In this regard, we have agreed not to disclose their names or their details at this press briefing as part of the NPA, that is a non-prosecution agreement, because this is going to inure to the efficiency of the prosecutions that will be mounted. And in every prosecutorial decision making, we have the discretion to take decisions that will inure to the benefit of the Republic. And we have decided in the office, together with the investigators, that some of the marketplace vendors and some other directors and staff who came to us may be serving as prosecution witnesses. Some of them offered to be prosecution witnesses, and we rejected their offers. They came, met with my deputy, we evaluated the evidence and thought that it will be inimical to the entire prosecutorial enterprise if we accepted their offers to serve as prosecution witnesses. Our position is clear that these persons are reasonably suspected to have committed crimes and shall be charged accordingly with the following crimes: stealing, contrary to Section 1241 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29. Conspiracy to steal, contrary to Sections 23.1 and 124.1 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act. Willfully causing financial loss to the state, contrary to Section 179A3A of the Criminal and Other Offences Act. Using public office for profit, contrary to Section 179CA of the Criminal and Other Offences Act. Obtaining public property by false statements, contrary to Section 5 of the Public Property Protection Decree 1977, SMC 140. Money laundering, contrary to Section 1, subsection 2C of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2020, Act 1044. And conspiracy to commit money laundering, contrary to Section 3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2020, Act 1020. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, as part of the oral agenda, I have ordered that a comprehensive investigation of the assets of these persons be conducted. That investigation is ongoing, and we shall be pursuing the suspect to retrieve funds attributable to them and assets they have acquired using those funds.
Attorney General, questions and answers. Media for him, no questions. And on one guy, to my Attorney General, says, the amount for Chema, what John Homen now social media do. Eya questions says, Attorney General, who social media didn't. I amount for Chema, I then a press conference, I draw so sa, won't call Attorney General no Chem the or answers for home. Oh, and now one person should be sa questions Attorney General, yet to send someone Montemonca Highway no so. Amount for Chema. Moi, what your moko court dinner, almost your mobile for coin be so frustrating to the sense of Mokran within 4 years in Much Bingelubia. And a Dominicana said, Kai, when you made them a don that.
Now, someone asked why the press briefing. The detractors of oral, that is, those who do not want or are not enamored of the oral agenda, would usually say that this is persecution, a persecution of the suspects in the media, or prosecution of the suspects in the media. Now, the United States of America is one of the world's oldest democracy, okay? And U.S. prosecutors, district attorneys, or even the Attorney General of the United States of America, when they conclude investigations, they brief the press on their findings. Sometimes they file the charges and come out of the courtroom to brief the press on the charges that have been filed. There is nothing absolutely wrong with this. So those who think that accounting to the people, if you look at the meaning of the word accountability simply means to explain one's actions. What we are doing is simply to account to the people of this country. And it doesn't matter how many times it is said, I will continue to account to the people of this country through the press briefings. Then the timeline for prosecution. Well, I have my prosecutorial plan laid out, okay? And I'm keenly aware of what defense lawyers can do, okay? I was for many years a defense lawyer myself, so I know their tricks. Remember the famous Tagore case? I was the one who freed Tagore together with Kisi Ajabing from prison. So I know what to look for, what defense lawyers look for in any prosecution. If you picked up, thank you for the intelligence that you have picked up, that they say that they and their lawyers will frustrate me. I have plans in place to avoid frustration. Okay? I know what I am doing. And together with my able deputy, we will make sure that the people of this country, because if they frustrate me, they are frustrating the people of this country. We are going to take the prosecution really very seriously. Look, if you have had 8 million Ghana cedis lodged into your account from public funds, and you say you frustrate the prosecutor, how are you going to do that? Supposing he didn't know, that's a different matter altogether. Or if you have your companies and public monies are flowing through your companies, and you cannot tell the prosecutor why those monies were being transferred to your company and they were being used for private purposes, and you say you frustrate the prosecutor, well, they should come with all the technicalities in the world. We are waiting for them. We are waiting for them in the courtroom. This is going to be a different ball game altogether. I'm not bragging, but it's going to be a different ball game altogether.
Comment section ho. Na share video ma foforo so ensa enkebi. Me di ni kojo black. Me dwodwo mu awie. Macro.